All right, welcome back to another episode of the Demonic Discussions podcast. I'm your co-host with the most, Cameron Pierce, joined again by none other than Jake Phillips and Jenna Kiefer. If you enjoyed the last episode starring myself, you would know we were going to get our special guest in. Some things came up and we had to reschedule his recording session, but we made it work and we got him here today. And joining us for this episode of the Demonic Discussions podcast is none other than my chainsaw brother from Netherworld of the Second Show, Mr. Travis Hodson, also known as Warboy Von Fury. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on this glorious show.
And thank you for making me almost spit my drink out of my nose. I really appreciate that right before we started recording.
Hey, I'm all about, hooking people up with fun stuff.
I mean, we all did pause our hentai to be here, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wait, we're supposed to pause that?
Oh, shit! My laptop's over there.
Mine's still going in the background. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got one AirPod in right now.
Jake's on that spicy crunchy roll.
Yeah.
Crunchy.
Crunchyroll XXXX.
Oh, yeah.
With the Ahiga face.
Oh my God. What a great way to start this episode.
So many uwus.
All right, so what a great way to start this episode already, folks. Y'all can tell this one's going to be fun. So starting off, we'd like to ask not a cuck. Oh my God.
Wrong type of show.
Yeah, wrong show.
Wrong show.
You got to pay us for that type of content.
That's premium right there.
I'm gonna upload this to Pornhub now.
I'm already on there, so I mean, why not?
So anyway, what I was trying to say, we like to ask a couple of questions. There we go. I got it right this time.
And then
just learning a little bit more about your journey through the haunt world, as well as we're going to get into your wasteland stuff as well, since you are a very prominent wastelander.
Yeah.
So starting off, how did you get into the haunt business and what really pulled you to it?
I was actually still in the military. I was in the I'm going to call them Nasty Guard. I was in the National Guard. It was my last year I was in with the Guard. And just local hometown haunt was looking for people, and I was like, you know what, this seems right up my alley. I like spooky shit. Let's see what this is all about. And I ended up starting to work at, it was called the Gauntlet. Unfortunately, the Gauntlet is no longer a thing.
Oh fuck! That's what I was about to ask.
The Gauntlet is no more, as there was a very tragic accident involving a hay cart that ended up with multiple people being injured and a girl dying. So that was a hell of a way to start off my haunt life. My very first time haunting and someone dies.
It was a sign, I guess. Question mark?
It was I'm not gonna lie, it fucked me up a little bit as being somebody that military, your mindset is you need to run into the danger to help, and that's the thing I did, and you're helping people with broken backs, and you look over and there's this girl laying there, and you're like, people are trying to no, there's nothing we can do for her. She's gone, and it sucks, but we just don't touch her and focus on the injured. But that was my first haunt. It was very interesting. I took a couple years off from that because that's pretty traumatizing to deal with. But I ended up from there. I started working. My next haunt was Netherworld. I had met my ex on the interwebs. It was one of those relationships. Yeah.
Been there.
And I never knew what Netherworld was. I'm driving by, we're going down 85 screaming down the road, and I look over Netherworld. I'm like, that looks like a giant Halloween prop warehouse, and I'm like, I want to go to that store sometime. I thought it was a.
You thought it was a store?
I thought it was a giant Halloween themed prop store.
Shame on you, sir.
Okay, now
Shame.
in my defense, I am a Yankee. I am originally from Maine, so I didn't know. So I went online and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh my. So that obviously that directs you to YouTube. And you get on YouTube, and I watched every video they had posted for Netherworld. And I was like, I fucking want in on that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I went online, I applied, got called in for an interview, and that's how I got my foot in the door at Netherworld. I started with them in 2000, would have been 2014, I believe, 14 or 15.
Oh, I think that was about the same year I started.
And I love the old location. I thought it was really cool. But for me, it's like I went from like low end, very low budget wagon ride type haunt to the big leagues. There was no buffer in between. I ended up moving back to New England. I thought it was a better thing for my family. I had my daughter at the time.
Aww.
And I was like, we're gonna move to New England. I miss my family, and I jumped. The crew that ran the Gauntlet opened up a new show, which it was a walk. It was an outdoor walking path style haunt, and it was called Nightmare on the Ridge. And it's such a fun show. I mean, they have like a 20-30 foot circus clown tent in the middle.
Oh.
And the host with the most there is the ringmaster. And he has crazy clowns with chainsaws in there where you walk into the tent and, you get in there and it goes pitch black. And I think it's the Pit and the Pendulum from Nightwish. There's that really intense opening. That starts playing and the lights come on and there's like 3 or 4 clowns running around you with chainsaws and he's standing in the middle. It's a phenomenal show.
Oh boy, that's the arouser in your trousers.
Yeah, I did 2 seasons with them. And I decided to come back to Georgia and come back and I was like, hey, I kind of want to play at Netherworld some more. And they're like, fuck yeah, I just fill out your paperwork and be here.
Can I come back, senpai? Ooh woo, fingers inward.
It was pretty much like, ooh, haunting senpai, please witness
Ooh,
me. Let me haunt you,
no.
wanties.
Notice me, senpai. Ooh woo. All the anime people are gonna fucking hate us.
Ben's gonna hear this and he's like, I am not letting him work with me this year.
Be gone, thought.
It's I would be heartbroken. I'm not going to Wasteland weekend, damn it. I have to be there.
Wasteland.
Mr. Ben Armstrong, if you're watching this, we want you for an episode of the podcast. Reach out to me, please.
We're also
Sponsor
very,
us.
very, very sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry in advance,
Spooky
but still,
Dad.
come on.
But
what are we talking about?
that's,
This is the type of stuff Ben loves.
yeah, but this is
It's not like we're talking shit about Netherworld because we would
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. Yeah, but this
Not
will
on
be
camera.
my
I'm kidding.
my 6th year at Netherworld.
Okay. So I see a little bit of a similarity there between me and you in the sense that I started off with a smaller haunt and then, I only worked a smaller haunt and then just 2020 came along, the smaller haunt didn't open and just boom, you're thrown in there with the big dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. When I went in there for my orientation and all that, when Jessica, who's our casting director, for those of y'all that don't know, when she gave us the tour of first show and second show, I remember stepping off the bridge that goes through the vortex in the first show into Weisberg and looking out over everything and just like the thought in my head. Yeah. The thought in my head was like, holy crap. Like, and I thought if I looked up, you'd be able to tell, you're in a warehouse. No, because they have stuff hanging and flying from the rafters, and it's a whole nother deal.
Netherworld's a whole different caliber of haunt.
Oh yeah.
You feel like you're in a new dimension when you start.
Even this year, last year when I was on Clean Crew, I was 50-50. I did Clean Crew and then I acted. But like doing Clean Crew, like every time you walked through that vortex tunnel and came out on the other end, you're like, wait, you have to take a second to like center yourself to remember that like I'm in a show. Like I didn't just literally come out of this portal into this new freaking world.
Yeah.
This ain't
And then
Narnia,
of course, once you come off the vortex, just right over your head.
Isn't that fucking bat from Anastasia?
Shoot it out. Get down.
Oh god. So you've been there for 6 years. I've only been there one. This will be my second year. I'm staying with Netherworld, and I don't plan on going anywhere else. Y'all have completely won me over.
Welcome to the dark side, where we have the best cookies.
And we have cookies and snacks.
I just said that we have the best cookies.
And
Well, we have
nuggies.
cookies and snacks.
And nuggies.
All the nuggies.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
Nuggies are a necessity.
And then of course, if you were there for the photo shoot, which I'm actually looking at the cast photo sitting right over there on my dresser, if you were standing towards the back, towards me, John, and Jake, and Chris, all you heard was "and Jimmy's mom." I believe Halloween night was your.
I
took Halloween off.
So did I.
Yeah, I typically I will not work the Halloween show, just because like I take my daughter out. So
yeah.
I was still pissed they didn't Photoshop me into the portrait like they did everyone else this time of year.
Yeah.
Like they Photoshopped everyone at the bottom bar. I'm like, what the fuck am I? Dicks.
Yeah. So kind of going from the haunt stuff, we're gonna go into the post-apocalyptic wasteland stuff.
Oh boy.
So, and
this
is gonna be the fun part right here. So when you first found out about the whole Wastelander stuff, what is it about everything that drew you to do it?
So this is where it gets the super emotional story here.
Okay.
I discovered Wasteland kind of by accident. It's kind of like a blessing and a curse for me type thing, because the curse is Wasteland's addicting. Once you get a taste for it, you want in and you never want to leave it.
Or it's like when you get a tattoo.
Yeah, pretty similar. But pretty much, my grandfather, who I was very close with, passed away on Christmas, and Merry Christmas. Yay. But I fell into a very dark spot. I pretty much I didn't want to live anymore, because he was my rock. Like he taught me everything I knew, and it was one of those. Fuck it, why not just jump on social media one more time, and just scroll through it. And I found this post for an event called Nuclanta. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And I got reading into it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Pretending the world ended, like Mad Max meets Fallout, and both of those are right up my alley. So I actually jumped at it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay around at least long enough to do this, and I went. The first event that I went to, it was hosted in an actual functioning junkyard.
Oh.
So imagine you're living in this place for a week. And it's like the world ended with a fully functioning junkyard. And the cool part was, if it was not physically bolted down, we were allowed to take it. We could add it to our gear. We could grab it to save for later for future projects. So we did that one. I was hooked. So it's typically, it was once a year, and that was the only event I knew of. There are more. But I went back the next year, and we did it all over again. I had a better understanding for it. It let me adapt my Wasteland character, as I have two of them. One mainly for Wasteland Weekend, and then I have one for all my other events that I go to. And I went back to the junkyard and met new people. We beat a car to fucking death with fucking wrenches and hammers and shit one night. We have live bands. But this last one I did go to Wasteland Weekend in 2019, and Wasteland Weekend is like the holy grail of Wasteland events. That is like the big pilgrimage that everyone from around the world goes to. People
I've been
from
wanting
Australia
to check that out for the longest time.
And it was for me, being my first year, riding on a war rig at all is unheard of. And I rode on so many different fucking vehicles. It was ridiculous. I ended up being hunted by the War Spawn, which are Morton Joe's War Boys. They found out I was going to be there, and my name is Warboy Von Fury. And they're like, well, he doesn't roll with us. Who's this war boy guy? So the Immortan actually kind of like put a hit out on me, and he's like, go find him and bring him here now. And I just happened to be, it was like the third day in. I just stumbled back into camp. My feet were killing me. I'd been walking around all day because it's in the middle of the Mojave Desert.
Oh.
So it's, you can be as loud as you want. It's crazy. And I just happened to look across the little road that, because it's split down into like little blocks. And I just happened to look across and I saw a war boy and I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? And I got, talking with him, and I'm trying to remember which guy it was. I think it was Half Tank. And he's like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm Warboy Von Fury. And he goes, wait, you're who? And I'm like, Warboy Von Fury. He's like, oh, you need to come with me like right now. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, someone needs to see you. He's like, it's really important. I'm like, all right. So I get escorted through Wasteland City by 3 warboys. Like, I'm getting ready to go be executed. And they bring me into the Citadel outpost, and there's Immortan Joe sitting there. And they're like, Immortan, and you throw up your V8, and you're like, Immortan, we found Warboy Von Fury. And he just looks at me, and I'm like, I'm almost shitting myself. I was so nervous. Because anybody that knows me knows that, like, I like the Warboy aesthetic and all of that. So I was like, shit, I'm in their home, and I'm like, I'm by myself.
I'm about to be pegged.
I'm like, I'm in trouble. And he's like, Warboy Von Fury. And I'm like, yes, Immortan. And he's like, you're the only essentially, he's like, you're the only fucking warboy that I don't own. And he's like, who the fuck are you? And I like froze. I mean, I was pale white. And he's like, and I'm like, well, if my name's offensive to you and your crew, I'll drop the warboy part. It's no problem. Like, I don't want to step on any toes. And he's like, no, he's like, we've been watching you online, and he's like, we kind of dig you. And he's like, so be here in the morning ready to go. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, I'd really like to. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, if you want to be with us, he's like, we'll give you a tryout. And he's like, well, you got to shave. I had a full beard. I had fucking like Wayne Static looking freaking going bald hair going on.
Yeah.
And I had all my piercings in, and I ran back to my buddy's camp. Like, I've only known this guy for like a day. And I'm like, hey, dude, you got like electric clippers? And he's like, why? And I'm like, just don't ask. So we shaved my head, shaved every like bit of facial hair off of me. I took all my piercings out and sprinted all the way back to the Citadel. And they're like, Immortan, someone's here to see you. And he's like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, it's Von Fury. And he's like, he didn't recognize me. And he's like, you are taking this serious, aren't you? And I'm like, very. And he's like, cool, be here in the morning. We're gonna paint you up. So that morning, 2 tribe mates, one of the war boys and one of the Immortan's wives, pretty much dug out all the white war paint, painted me completely white. And I got to ride on a bunch of the war rigs. I got to escort the Immortan to places and play the part of an actual war boy. It was a lot of fun. But then I
feel like this is definitely one of those senpai noticed me things.
Oh yeah, I cried. I'm not gonna lie. When I got done that night when I was leaving Wasteland, when you leave, it's like you're there. You have such a good time. You meet such great people. It's like the haunt industry. You meet like all these like really great people, and you really bond with them over a short amount of time. And it's like you don't see these people. Like some of these people live across the ocean, so it's like I'm never gonna see this person until Wasteland. So it was like I was driving. It's me and 2 other people riding back from California, and a song came on, and we all just kind of got quiet. And I like looked over at my buddy who was driving, and he kind of looked at me, and the tears just started flowing. And it's like that last night of haunt season. Like you're happy-go-lucky around everybody, but you get in your car and you get like 5 minutes down the road.
You get
and,
the
like,
post-haunt blues.
And then like fucking Green Days, like, freaking half the time of your life comes on, and then you're just fucking sobbing like someone killed your dog in front of you.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was me coming back from Wasteland. But I just got back from an event last week. It was my second time attending there. It's called Aftermath. It's in Alabama. And it's the same thing. The world ends. You can barter for things. I mean, I brought 13 pounds of brisket with me. and smoked it, fed people.
Oof, that gave me an affectionate erection.
Yeah, now you're talking my language.
Yeah, but pretty much for Wasteland, if you're all the events are full immersion. You have to dress the part. There's no like I want to come and like check it out type thing. When you're there, you got to come in my
cargo shorts.
I mean, if you honestly, if you showed up with just like raggedy clothes and shit, as if you just like been hiding out somewhere just trying to survive, you're good. Like no one. The good thing about the community is nobody's really no one's judgy. Like if they'd be like, hey, are you new to this? And if you're like, yeah, and they're like, well, dude, here, let me help you with your gear. You know, like I got this lane in camp that I don't want to use. You can have it, and you know, we get you squared away.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I've been talking with you a good bit about it because I discovered Wasteland stuff because I'm a fan of Fallout. Yep. So I was already kind of like that, and I was the original character that I was playing, Sarge, which is now a dead character. I've officially retired the character. He's done because I've evolved him as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And I was looking for more Fallout type of like body enhancement type stuff that I could use for his costuming. And I started looking around and I started finding post-apocalyptic stuff. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. You know, I'm sitting there like, okay, they recycled that off of a car and made it into like armor. And I was like, that is so cool. And then it started slowly evolving. I found out about Wasteland Weekend and all that, which I mean, that's still on my bucket list to go to at some point in my life is to go to Wasteland.
You get the opportunity to go, take it. Even if it's you only go the one time, it is such a life-changing experience.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm gonna go to a Wasteland event here eventually once COVID kind of wraps up, even though I'm already fully vaccinated, and I know the whole country as a whole is starting to get a little bit more vaccinated now that states are opening up a little bit more to more people getting the vaccines, but I'm still riding it out. I'm going to test it out and see how it goes because my first convention I'm going to this year is Days of the Dead in Atlanta and then Atlanta Comic-Con the next weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to be riding it out, see how it is by then, and then I'll make my decision as to what I'm going to do. I've already promised Jake I'm going to Days of the Dead because it's rumored that Corey Taylor from Slipknot will be there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And that's also going to be where Baron Volkar makes his debut, is going to be at Days of the Dead or Atlanta Comic-Con, whichever one comes first.
Bro, I got the weirdest boner right now. That sounds awesome.
I should have Fenrir ready to go by June I'm going to try to debut Fenrir at the Atomic Falls because he ties in not only as a haunt character, but he's also an evolution of what happens to my character as far as the Wasteland.
And I should have a negative upgraded by then too.
Yeah, we got to get Baba Yaga up and running.
I mean, she getting there. Like I said, she's a walking meth commercial. So let me just let me hit up Atlanta. Get it a few.
Hit up Atlanta.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd say hit up Atlanta. Just show up. Just come out here near Toccoa. You'll be fit right in perfect.
Bro, all you got to do is spend 1 hour over on Moreland Avenue. You'll be fine.
I'll come back not the same.
You should be coming back just constantly just scratching, thinking bugs are under her skin and all that.
You got any of that Halloween candy?
Blowjob $40.
God. Oh, whoa.
God. Wait, what? Time out what?
I need to stop drinking is what I need to do.
Oh,
next time on the Demonic Discussions podcast.
How much does Baba Yaga charge for Handy J's?
I was like, what for a bag of candy corn?
I sure didn't know.
Shows up with just an entire like wholesale pallet of candy corn.
No, Baba Yaga comes out of an alley. She's got an old sock full of pennies.
Oh, it's like a sock full of pennies. It's a sock full of those mallow pumpkins
and a couple of pesos.
It's like that movie, The Happy Time Murders, where that puppet's going for 50 cents. I'll give you a felty or something like that.
It sounds like a weird hand job.
Look,
that's what it is, because he says he needs a gallon of kombucha and some oatmeal.
Look, if none of y'all have ever seen the Happy Time Murders, y'all need to see it. It's amazing.
It's a fantastic film.
But
damn it! Now I want oatmeal. How dare you?
Well, you can never forget pilafing.
Pilafing?
Cameron, stop! Cameron, stop!
What is it? Tell me. I'm curious now.
So
they stuff the puppets full of shrimp pilaf, and then
and then they have sex with it.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm gonna go drink some bleach. BRB.
And then
So
how we went from
anyway,
Wasteland to fucking puppets.
Welcome to the Demonic Discussions podcast. It goes off the rails so quick, but it's the funnest.
This is what happens when it's 10:30 at night and everyone's been drinking.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, that does it for my questions. So I'm going to open it up to Jake and Jenna, if y'all.
Okay. What was it? I think I remember sometime after being in the Nether Spawn family for I think about a year or so. I think I remember you posting on the Spawn page about wanting to build your tattoo portfolio. I think that was you.
Yep, that was me. That was.
Are you still doing that, or how'd you get into that?
My ex got me into that job. We actually worked at the same shop. Everything's still cool. She was the head piercer, and I wanted to tattoo, so she put a good word in for me, and I brought in a bunch of drawings that I literally had 3 hours to come up with 50 drawings. So I just power sketched a bunch of shit and handed it to the boss lady, and I'm like, hey, so yeah, I can draw. And she's like, that's great. I like your drawing, but can you tattoo? And I'm like, I don't know, we'll find out. And one thing led to another, and I ended up tattooing until was December 2 years ago. December, I actually stopped tattooing. I had a heart attack and a stroke.
Oh no!
In the same night.
Whoa!
Home alone.
You got the double whammy, bruh.
Yeah, and then came to find out I have a bundle branch block in my heart. So the difference between a left and a right is the right one is all right, whatever, you got it, and the left one's kind of like a widowmaker, and I got the left one. So I like to live dangerously.
Was it because of your heart blockage that you can't that you not tattoo anymore? You ever go back to it?
So it's kind of weird. Is I get shaky, and you can't be shaky tattooing. It's once that line's there, it's there. So I was like, well, fuck it, I want to. So I'm like, I want to pierce, and they're like, are you shitting me? And I'm like, no, I want to learn how to pierce, and I pretty much from there evolved into a piercer, and some people laugh at it, and some people are frightened by it, but I tell them if I can pinch it, I can pierce it, and I'm not scared to. And they're like,
have you done genital piercings?
Maybe.
That's what I always want to ask whenever someone says they're pierced. It's like, have you done genital piercings? If so, what's that like? Is it awkward as fuck at the first time?
Yes and no.
Or it's like, this is a penis. All right, let's do it.
It's like, I've done so many nipple piercings, it's ridiculous. And it's like, people are like, you have girls come in all the time. And I'm like, who gives a shit? It's a job. A boob's a boob. I'm
we
literally
all got nipples, okay?
Well, actually, I said that. I'm like, we all got nipples, okay? It's whatever. And they're like, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, typically I just pinch their nipple real quick and stick a needle through it. And I was taught how to pierce the old school way, so I don't use tools. It's
so you don't use a clamp?
Nope. I just we're gonna become friends for a minute. I have to pinch your nipple, and and
I'll call you after. No, I won't.
And it's like boom, and bam, pierce, needle through, run the jewelry through, and call it good.
Fuck.
Okay.
And that's the rest of the story.
Yep, that's pretty much
So
it.
that happened.
I actually have a funny story related to piercings. So a friend of mine used to be on the track team at the high. This is completely unrelated. I'm sorry, but I think y'all get a kick out of this. A friend of mine used to be on the track team at my high school, and the track coach before every practice would come up to them and say okay, all jewelry and all piercings out and stuff like that, because some of the kids had lip rings or nose rings, whatever. And he's going down this line for the first time, and one kid after he passes the coach, he yells out, "Wait, what about my dick ring?"
He had a Prince Albert?
And the coach just looks at him and keeps moving. And kept moving. He did not. Oh, he wasn't going
He's like,
there.
I ain't touching that.
So that reminded me of an interesting tale of my army days.
Oh no!
Just a random with a fucking Prince Albert.
Real quick before you do that, does it involve the silver bullet?
No.
Okay.
No. So I was bold in the military, and being in the military, you can't have piercings. And I'm like, I'm gonna get one they can't see. So I went and got old Tallywhacker stabbed. And
I don't have
like,
a dick, and that hurts.
So I'm like, oh, it fucking sucked.
I mean, yeah, you're getting your dick pierced, bro.
So I went and got it done. I was friends with one of the guys that worked at the shop off post. He was my sponsor when I first got to the unit, and then he got done. He worked at this tattoo shop off post. So, he was hustling us for money all the time. But we had a piss test one morning.
Oh. And
with a piss test, they have to watch you. They have to physically see like stream come out of your dick to the cup. Have to see it. It's to make sure like no one's like faking the shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't feel so good. I might have to go number 2. And you can do it, but they have to sit there with the stall open and watch you like take a crap while pissing in a cup. And it's like you kind of want to be that guy, to be that asshole, just to do it, to be spiteful. You're like, you're wasting my fucking. I actually like doing PT, so it was like, you're wasting my fucking time. So fuck you. You're gonna watch me poop. I'm German, so it's okay. It's like I'm German, so it's okay. It's like dungeon porn.
This is how we shake hands.
So
then you just unleash an absolute toilet crusher.
I wasn't thinking about it, and my buddy just happened to be, as we called him, the meat gazer. And he's like, "Here's a cup, dude." He's like, "Go in, piss, and like get out of here." He's like, "I'm gonna let you go home for the day." And I'm like, "Sweet, I appreciate it." I hadn't been feeling well, so he was sitting there, and I'm going to take a piss, and my first sergeant walks in, and I'm like, shit's out to the wind, and I start pissing, and my buddy like kind of chuckles. He's like, "I can't believe you really did that." And I'm like, "Yeah, ballsy thing, but I did it." And I remember my first sergeant looking, he came over to make sure, I was doing the right thing. And he looks, and then he stops, and he looks again.
He did a double take?
He did a double take. And I would honestly say that's the only time someone's ever done a double take at my junk.
I was going to say, you double taked at the dick. I was just like,
so I'm like
either something's wrong, or it's like, that's a nice dick, sir.
Yeah. I was waiting for you, like, good form, sir. That's fancy. Like
very vascular.
I was like, bro,
the judge card.
It's like, like first sergeant, don't lie to me. I can't hit the bottom of the Copenhagen can, but I'll blow off the side. It's
Jesus fuck.
Over here. But like he made me walk into the commander's office, and he's like, "Show him."
Oh no!
I'm like, "Show him what?" And the commander is like, "What am I looking at?" And he's like, "Do I want to know?" And I'm like, "Sir, you don't want to know. Let's just go by word of mouth of what was witnessed." He's like, "What did you do in there?" He's like, "Did you piss on like the fucking piss gazer?" And I'm like, as funny as that would be, no. And he's like, "What?" And my first sergeant just rips my pants down. And there I am standing, and the commander's like, "Well." And I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "Well, good for you." He's like,
oh my god!
And he's like, "Next time you come to work, please don't let that be in." And he's like, "If it's gonna be in, put a clear one in." And he sent me home.
I can't believe I can't believe that dude literally just pantsed you in front of your commanding officer like that.
Oh yeah, he just ripped those things down like he was going for it, and I'm like, "God damn,
I'm
dude."
suing.
I'm all for someone just grabbing and ripping the pants off. I'm fine with that, but like, come on now.
Take me out to dinner first. Come on, I'm a classy beau.
At least fucking pull my hair and spit in my mouth or something. Come on.
Call me daddy, God.
Jokes on them.
Oh, God.
I have no hair.
I'm never gonna be able to.
They're gonna have to stick a plunger to the top of your head to pull it away.
If my family ever sees this episode, I'm screwed.
Daddy, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry I failed you as a child.
I'm sorry,
I
Daddy.
was-
I've been bad. For the last time, it's forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I said that.
A part of me feels like I need to go to church after this.
I need to just bathe in bleach and just cancel myself.
Oh God.
I need to fade away into non-existence. I'm not feeling good, Mr. Stark. All of it.
Oh god.
I
you're
had
dead.
I had questions, but how do you follow this?
After just getting your pants just ripped out in front of your commanding officer with a dick
Oh, yeah.
piercing it.
Travis with his 2-hole PP.
Warboy in the 2-hole PP.
If you don't make a music video for that, I swear to God, man.
Make
I'll
a little
do it.
jingle for it.
I'll do it. I'll write it and I'll produce it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll watch it respectfully.
All right. So anyway, back on the train, on this absolute train wreck of an episode. That's the
No,
best
this is
episode
great.
we've
This
done.
train's smoothly flowing.
Jake, did you have anything? Was that the last thing you had, Jenna?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
Jake.
just here to add my 2 cents into shit now.
Sweet Jesus. Okay.
Oh, Jesus ain't gonna help you, buddy.
Jesus has left the building. He's left the chat. He's not in this universe, my friend.
Jake, I'm sitting here hoping that your family does not see this episode.
I brought the cards of sin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let me get my bigger, blacker box.
Yes. Okay,
Let me
so
tighten my helmet down at least.
first question. After hearing all about this wasteland stuff and apocalyptic stuff, what are some of your favorite like apocalyptic techniques you've actually learned? Are there any like crazy ones you've had to learn?
Well, one thing is like when someone typically looks at you and they're like, "Fuck you," you know, you're like, well, "What the what? Fuck you." You know,
Fuck
what
me
the
yourself,
hell?
you coward.
Oh God.
I just
Your
totally,
room
I was
goes
like, "Wait, what?"
so silent.
I was like, "Is that a challenge?"
Is
'Cause
that
you're
a
gonna win.
challenge?
Is that a bet or a promise?
Oh God.
So anyway, back to the question. In the wasteland, like looking at someone and flipping them off and saying "fuck you" is a sign of endearment. It's like a compliment. Like you can be like, "Hey,
I think I
fuck
found my
you,
home."
man." Yeah, it's like one of those ones that, you know, I could see, you know, Cameron across the way, like, "Hey, Cameron, fuck you," and you'd be like, "Yeah, fuck you," and everybody's like, "Oh, wow, they know each other." You know, it's like a sign of endearment. More dirt is always a thing. You can never have too much dirt on your stuff. Because you got to remember you're living as if the world ended. Your shit
Yeah.
isn't going to be clean. You're not going to have the forbidden raviolis in a washing machine. You know, to clean
Showers
your
don't
stuff.
exist.
Yeah, it's fun. It's and like what I tell a lot of people is there's no wrong way to do Wasteland. When coming up with your background and your character, you always base it off of your surroundings. So, or you can base it off of like how you want your character to be. Like mine started off very Fallout. Like I started off as like I was a scout for the NCR, and then I'm like, you know what? Like everyone says, fuck the NCR. They're a bunch of little bitches anyway. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So I discovered Metro 2033. And Metro,
that is such a good game.
Metro, when it hit me, it went, you know, to the hilt, balls deep, and no lube. It just fucking went to fucking town on me.
Just railed
emotionally.
the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, it made me its bitch tenfold.
Just bent you over and you called them daddy.
I mean, it went from tears to giggles. You know, it was interesting.
Those Christmassy giggles.
I started pushing back a little bit, you know. But so my character now is still Von Fury. So essentially the backstory is Von Fury starts off in the United States as this scout for the NCR. And I kind of come to realize that this is not what I want to do. That I'm going out, I'm scouting missions, I'm getting shot at, you know, death claws everywhere. I want nothing to do with that. which I'll bring up the Deathclaw thing again afterwards. It's pretty funny backstory thing as a joke. But I pretty much desert the NCR. I go on a mission with a bunch of guys and they get killed. And I'm like, well, fuck this. I ain't going back by myself. So I just take off. So I'm presumed dead. So they just mark me as I don't exist. And I end up finding the land bridge between the United States and Russia. And everyone's like, oh, that disappeared. No, it didn't. It still exists. So I managed to cross it alone and make it to the Metro systems where it ties into playing the game Metro. My character actually interacts with Artyom, where Artyom is actually turns out to be like my commander. And I go on a mission with him and like I bond with the Spartans in the Metro system and end up becoming a sergeant major for the Spartans. So that's why like a lot of my gear will have like a sergeant major rank on it. To symbolize like the status that I gained in the Metro systems. And then now I'll bring up Fenrir, which Cameron knows all about Fenrir.
I do because I was messaging him. I was messaging him showing the new mask that I have on the way from CFX for Baron Volkar. And he had been wanting to get a silicone for a while. And I said, well, check out Immortal's half masks. Sure enough, I hear nothing from him for about 15 minutes, and then all I see is, well, bought a mask.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck in this mask.
I mean, that requires me having somebody to do the deed with. So
we'll just jerk off in it, I guess. I don't know.
So I'm just gonna I'm gonna start taking applications. You know,
ladies down in the comments, drop your details in the comments.
Drop your Tinder profile.
Watching.
What the fuck's Tinder?
Drop your at.
Yeah, just drop your at. We'll be good, you know.
I just saw Jake's thing go up, point up to Stu, and I was like, Jake's out the building. He's done with our shit.
He's like, fuck you guys, I'm out. But
all I heard was fucking this mask. He's like, nope.
But we over time, like in the Wasteland, you're always changing your gear. You're always adding to it. You're always taking away. And Cameron's seen photos of my gear. Actually, because you all can see what I got. I can actually show you my original gear, which I actually built out of a German flak vest. Which is the modern day German flag vest. You got to excuse the mess that is my room right now.
What's a clean room anyway, honestly?
But that's my gear there. That's some of my gear.
And for those of y'all watching at home, in the intro, you saw how he looks in the full Von Fury gear in the intro.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what he's showing us now, since we probably you guys probably can't see.
But then and then because I care about y'all for y'all viewing pleasure.
Hey!
Shout out to Razor Candy. But but I downgraded to this gear now. It's a little bit lighter. What looks like steel plating is actually made out of a 55-gallon plastic barrel.
Huh.
So It looks like it's metal. The saw blades are all made out of barrel. Everything just painted accordingly. That gear was made by my friend Larry Hastings. He does phenomenal work on Wasteland gear. I've wanted a piece of gear by him for a long time. And I just happened to get lucky and find a piece at the last event I was at. And spent some money. And I was like, I want that in my life. Give me a prize.
Mucho dineros.
Oh, it cost me in the 3 digits, but
my wallet. Ow!
But at the same time, it's like I didn't look at it as like, oh my word, I'm spending a bunch of money. I looked at it as not only am I getting like a really awesome piece of gear for my character, but I'm also supporting a fellow artist.
True.
So it worked out.
Yeah, and I mean that's another thing is like another one of those amazing creators in the Wasteland community, Nuclear Snail.
Oh yeah.
His stuff is like the fact that he uses like even though all these wasteland artists are absolutely gorgeous with some of the stuff that they do, especially with the fact that they're recycling used materials to do it, the fact that he like laser etches steel into his plates and all that for his vests is like,
He does an
it's
amazing job.
insane what this guy can. Like, I actually learned a lot of costuming stuff for Haunts watching Nuclear Snail. Like, his whole deal on how to make a hood is actually what I used to make the hood for the Heretic's jacket that is sitting right over there.
I would buy that guy a beer.
Oh, Dimitri is an amazing guy.
Dimitri's good people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jake, you got anything else?
Yes. So in the last episode, which you guys have already seen by now, I did a couple of or a few this or that's with Cameron. And so now I have a couple more and I've personalized them for Travis.
I'm ready for mom and dad to start fighting again.
Make it hurt.
We're gonna have two Christmases because they're getting a divorce.
So I've only got 2 this time around.
Aww.
So the first,
you had like 8 last time.
Yes, because of the fact that there was I don't know much about apocalypse pop culture. That's my thing. So the first one I have for you is relation to like the apocalypse featuring zombies. So, The Last of Us or I Am Legend?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, buddy. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, his things are like they grab you by the balls and twist.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's hard, and I'm like, that wasn't the question. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the question is, I gotta keep you on your toes. Yeah, we're all a bunch of little perverts over here. I love it.
Yeah. So The Last of Us, the video game, or I Am Legend, the movie.
Honestly, I would probably have to go with I Am Legend. It just, to me, it seems a little bit more believable of something that could happen.
Okay. All right.
The game is great though. Like, the game is phenomenal, but it's just like I would just lean more towards I Am Legend. Like that to me, that seems like something that would be more realistic of happening. And if you think about it, it's like a fucking virus caused the problem, and
which we're in right now,
and we're living it right now. So,
all right,
we don't like that very much.
We are legend.
Legends.
New sequel coming this summer, directed by me.
It's not even we are legends. We is legends.
You just see like me firing a full auto M4, Travis standing there hip firing his Barrett.
No. It's like that meme I sent you with the guy who has his legs like full up Pilates style and it's just farting fire, just straight upwards.
I'll wear the tracksuit with my Russian hat and just shoot an AK screaming while drinking vodka.
I'm just sitting there doing the ooh thing.
Squad.
All right.
Motherland!
I'm just off in the corner doing that ooh thing with both my fingers pointed inwards.
All right. So this next one is probably you're gonna have to think about this carefully because this is pretty much the 2 most popular and most loved apocalypse things. So, and you're probably gonna kill me for this.
Sleep with one eye open, Jake.
I probably will. Now, Mad Max or Fallout?
Oh, you cut me deep on that one. That one.
Thank God this is not to me.
I'll get the divorce papers.
Okay, so I knew about Fallout before I knew about Mad Max.
Okay.
I liked Fallout. I liked the aesthetic of it because it made sense. Everything about Fallout, like, it was very believable. They actually made it like if the world actually ended, and everything seemed pretty believable. You're gonna have your different factions and all that. And of course, I got excited when Far Harbor came out for Fallout because Far Harbor is based off of Bar Harbor in Maine, and I grew up like 45 minutes from there, so I knew where everything was. Mad Max also is one of those movies where you can see that really happening. So that's a really hard one for me. I like my Fallout, but I also I like my Mad Max. But I personally am more fond of Mad Max because Fury Road has a lot to do with my aesthetic and what really got me into it. So I go Mad Max.
All right. Well, that was my last question. So, does anybody have anything else?
All right.
I'll go unpause my hentai. Oh, wait, I'll just start the next video. All good.
You know what the funny part is? She's probably really watching hentai right now. What's going on?
No, never.
Judging by the reflection, you're on like episode like 12 of something, and it's pretty good
38.
stuff.
I mean, what?
Tomato.
Now I know
I
who
just
I
want
need
to know
to
how
hang
she
out
makes
with.
that face.
I'm over here
All
like
right,
I need
so-
to hang out with you guys more.
I think I just need a gag reflex to make that face. Can't relate.
Oh
I'm gonna
my
need
God.
man. I'm gonna need a cold shower and a cigarette after this.
Mhm.
So, am I supposed to Venmo you money or like what? Because of this?
Cash
I
App,
don't know how that
boy.
works.
Oh my God. So does anyone have anything? Because I think I'm just about good.
Same.
This
I just
is
wanted to get my
actually-
dirty shit out of the way.
It was like, was
This-
it good for you as it was for me? Because I feel dirty.
Are you so proud of me?
Are
I
you
need to
so
take-
proud
Love
of
me,
me,
Daddy.
Daddy?
I'm gonna go take a cold shower. I'm gonna go cry in a cold shower.
I'll never be the same again.
I've never been touched in ways like this before.
They were my friends and they violated me.
I need it to happen again. I mean, what?
Welcome
no,
to
never
Demonic
mind.
Discussions.
Spread them.
Because you asked so nicely.
Welcome to demonic discussion. Spread them.
Oh God.
We're not
Oh,
putting that
God.
on a shirt.
Yes, Daddy. Yes.
No, yes, that's gonna be our first release shirt. Welcome to the
No, that's Baba
Oh
Yaga's
my
shirt.
God.
Spread them.
Oh God.
So if no one has anything, I think we'll go on and wrap up here. Once again, thank you so much, Travis, for coming out and hanging out with us on here.
Yeah.
If you got any social medias or anything you want to plug, you can go on and drop that in here.
Yeah. The only one I really use is on Instagram, the Warboy Von Fury. I'm the only one. If there's another one, you tell them they're wrong, and I will find them and kill them. I am the only Warboy Von Fury. I
could be only
post a lot
one.
it has a lot of my Wasteland stuff on there, and a lot of stuff about me and my daughter doing our adventures as Warpup and Warboy. But yeah, that's really the only one. And yeah, I'm still taking applications. I'm throwing it out there. I'm kidding. I'm not really
Ladies.
taking out. I'm not really dropping applications. It's.
I'm gonna be submitting my application tonight. I mean, what?
Already ahead. Sorry,
okay.
Jake, I'm already ahead of you.
I'm expediting both of yours.
Oh my God.
We're gonna
I
put
got
those
my
on the-
application before he even said he was taking them.
So yeah,
they're already on the yes list. Okay, so you guys are good.
Sweet.
everyone that
Got
just
you.
heard his Instagram handle, y'all be sure to go give him a follow over there. Really cool stuff what he posts. You can check out a lot of his Wasteland stuff on there as well. For my co-hosts, we'll go on and start dropping our stuff. So you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at killing_machine_Sarge. That's for the Instagram. On TikTok, it is at the_cult_of_Sarge. I know that's a long thing. Jake will probably have everything in the description on this, so you can just follow it there. So that's all my social medias I got right now. We have a special surprise coming at 40 subs on the channel. So y'all get this channel at the 40 subs, and y'all will be getting what we got.
I believe
So-
we're 2 away at this point.
Yes, we're 2 away, so we just need 2 more. So my other hosts, take it away.
So my Instagram handle thing is my tag is the_in_in_closet. And then that's it.
Yeah,
And-
my Instagram and Twitter are all just grave_master_Jenn. I just realized in the last recording I said general instead of Jen. I was like, fuck! I forgot I changed it. So it's all just grave_master_Jen for Instagram and Twitter, and that's about it because I'm a loser.
And also, you can follow the official podcast Instagram at I believe it is what is it, Jake?
It's demonic_discussions, I believe. Yep.
There we go. Perfect.
We should have had this shit written down all the time.
We
just
should.
so we have it offhand.
So be sure to go give us all a follow, and So for the Demonic Discussions podcast, this is Jake Phillips, Jenna Kiefer, Cameron Pierce, and our special guest, Warboy Von Fury, and we will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
See you guys.